All right. I think it's about that time that there is a YouTube documentary on people living in the underground of Las Vegas. Thank you, Sheree. That doesn't surprise me. All right. This Friday, we will be covering the disappearance of Brenda Condon, Condon, from Bellefonte, Bellefonte, Pennsylvania. She disappeared on in the early morning hours of February 27th of 1991. So we're going back over 30 years, 30 years and a month. And the guest will be her sister, Iris Myers. Iris is a woman that I've been talking to since 2017. And finally, we were able to get together for an interview. We actually got to meet in person. A couple months ago, she actually moved. She used to live in Pennsylvania. She moved to Florida. She almost ended up living near me, but she does not live. She decided to get a place somewhere else. I'm, of course, not going to mention where that is. But so I got to meet her in person. We had a great time talking. It was finally good to meet her in person. Sat there and talked for a couple hours. And so I did the interview with her last week regarding the disappearance of her younger sister, Brenda Condon. The episode title will be Left Alone. And the facts are very much like some facts you've heard in other disappearances. One that probably can think of that I actually mentioned during the episode is Jessica Haringa's, where a woman is working some job alone at night and is abducted. Of course, we covered Julie Weflin's disappearance, I guess you could say, kind of like this, but of course that was in broad daylight. But Brenda was a bartender at a bar in Bellefonte. She had just started working there, only a couple days into the job. And the next day, what happened was she was supposed to lock up, and then she was going to do a turnaround and show up later that day to open the bar back up, like the afternoon. We were going to do a night shift and then an afternoon shift. Well, what happened was that when the swing shift came in later that day, the bar was open, her car was there. Nobody was there. And it was later determined through law enforcement looking into this that they believed that she had been abducted, kidnapped, went off with somebody during the closing hours time the night before. It was so bizarre that the bar had a couple vendors come in on that February 27th, like at around 11 a.m. They just walked in. The bar was unlocked. They saw Brenda's car there. They thought she was there, but they didn't see her. They thought, well, maybe she's in the restroom. Maybe she's in the cooler. One of them was the guy who packs the cigarette vending machine. Remember those? And the other guy was the guy who was the employee who comes in and takes up all the rugs, like those mats. It's like UniFirst or one of those type of companies. Picks up all the mats, puts down new mats, and takes them out to get them cleaned. Both of those vendors came in. They just thought Brenda was there, and she wasn't. And in fact, it seems that she was abducted somehow the night before. Probably the most bizarre point about this disappearance, I had mentioned this a couple weeks ago with Kaya Taylor's, with her shoes being found by that, was it a telephone pole, lighting pole over there in Plant City, is we have another disappearance where shoes or boots are found in an odd place. Brenda's boots were found neatly placed in the men's restroom after it was discovered that she was missing. So we have multiple possibilities here in this one. She was in an abusive relationship. Her boss, named Carl, didn't have the greatest reputation. And on top of everything else, it does seem that there was a serial killer in the area just a couple years after that. So that is this Friday. Brenda Condon from Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, February 27th, 1991. Her sister, Iris Myers, will be the guest, and the title of the episode is Left Alone. Eric, she was taken in a car by two people and taken to a campsite in Oklahoma. Oh. Louise, Eric, I don't think they knew. Okay. Cherie says, sounds pretty much like Sean Koenig disappearance, later murder. Or I don't think it was a woman then. What year was it again? I don't remember. Koenig, we haven't covered that disappearance, so it's tough for me to say. Yeah, it was 1991 this happened, Cherie, so just over 30 years ago, February 27th, 1991. Like I said, I've been talking to Iris for a while, and so it was nice to finally interview her. She did a great job, and that will be this Friday. So that's it for this show. Wow, 2 hours. Not surprised, given so much time was dedicated to the 48 Hours episode. So what did we do? Talked about playing a new course today, me getting up at 6:30. I feel much more awake now than when this live show started. My diet, 1,800 calories a day, technically 1,750. No sugar, no carbs. Busy out here at the beach. Didn't get my vaccine yet. And give this video a thumbs up. The Pearl Pinson poll, 48 Hours. Dr. Telesco, Unfound on the Ground, canceled to this coming Monday due to weather. April A. Bears podcast. Want you to check it out. Think it through. The Clear Thinking podcast. Going to be on there next month. Upcoming episodes, comparing disappearances, the newsletter. Look for it tomorrow night if you're on the list. Took some questions, the women in the sewer, and then finally Brenda Condon this Friday. That's all we got. You will hear me on Friday, and that was great talking to you. I always love talking to the show, doing the show. I don't know why more hosts don't do live shows. I'm going to keep saying it because I love doing this one. I love interacting with all of you. And as Shri says, keep your head on a swivel. Watch out there. Good night. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks for all the super chat contributions tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Good night.